Welcome to midweek macro for Wednesday, the 12th of November. My apologies, it's a bit earlier than usual, a lot going on in the background. So if you don't mind me to just indulge you in the personal updates first, and then of course we'll have a look at all the various news surrounding not just US government shutdowns, things with Trump as well, the BBC over in the UK, and of course having a look around the markets at the time of doing this video. So first of all, I should point out that I will be in transit a bit later on today. So for those that have been following the Contrarian Capitalist for a while, you'll know that Plan B and Plan C have been in operation in the background. Therefore, I will be traveling down to Paraguay later on today. So I will be in transit most of Wednesday, the 12th, and Thursday, the 13th. And then between the 13th and the 26th of November, I will be dealing with various immigration bits and bobs and so forth. Now, the reason I say that is that for the next 2 weeks, you will still get the midweek macro video. You'll get the midweek macro video on Wednesday, the 19th. There won't be one on the 26th. I will be traveling back to Mexico. Flight leaves at 3 o'clock in the morning. So there's no midweek macro video for the 26th of November. There will be one for the 19th. The commodity wraps will continue to be there on Fridays. The market wraps will continue to be there on Sundays as well. And I'm just polishing off some commodity deep dives and other posts as well. So the posts that you see, the written posts that you see in the next couple of weeks are all pre-written. And again, that's why a lot of them are commodity dives, etc. So that's what's to be expected from the Contrarian Capitalist within the next couple of weeks. My apologies in advance for radio silence in the next couple of days as well. And if you get a few photos of steak as well, yeah, just enjoying the life down there. That's why this video today is a little bit earlier because of course, getting ready and then being in transit as well. Just a couple of other bits of housekeeping, just to let you know that we recorded a really good podcast and video with the Broad Street Journal. We looked at energy in Europe and why that's going down the toilet, basically. So that is available to paid subscribers at the time of recording this video. It will be out to all subscribers later on this week. And also yesterday, the first ever mining company appeared on the Contrarian Capitalist. That audio has been sent off for editing to make sure that they are happy with everything their end. So you can expect that podcast and video to appear on the Contrarian Capitalist next week. Maybe by the end of this week. I don't know how quick they will be with the editing. But for those that do follow the mining industry, I think you're going to really enjoy that podcast and video when that drops as well. One other thing I should say is that I did have a subscriber reach out to me and ask if I did one-on-one private strategy sessions. And yes is the answer to that. Now, I don't have a booking system in place or anything like that. And I've always said, and I've always been very clear on the channel, that I'm not a financial advisor. But obviously, I know a lot of people in various industries. You guys and girls know what I do behind the scenes with regards to physical bullion and mining stocks in the portfolio and Plan B and Plan C. So the question I got posed was, do you offer one-on-one availability for private sessions? Absolutely. They are done on Zoom. Unless you happen to be in Mexico City, then of course we can meet up over some Mexican food and a coffee. Not a problem at all. What I would say for now is if you're interested in that, send me an email, contrariancapitalist@gmail.com, or DM me on Substack and we can get that conversation going. They last between 2 or 3 hours. And we can go through absolutely anything. It could be personal positions, it could be exposure to bullion, it could be Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. Even if you just want a general chat, you're more than welcome to. But I do offer those personal private strategy sessions. And I always say that, again, I am not a financial advisor. I'm here to help. I know a lot of things about a lot of things. I know a lot of people. I can at least point you in the right direction. Email me or send me a DM on Substack. Right, so getting on to the markets and the news, we will start with something you would have seen last week in the commodity wrap, that silver's been designated a critical mineral or critical metal, however you want to call it, along with copper as well. Uranium was added to the list as well. There were some others, but from the ones that we cover, they are the crucial ones that have been added. Just want to bring up the silver chart as well, because on the week, silver is actually up over 8%. It is trading around $52.35 at the time of recording this video. And I, I'm still playing a bit of caution here. And I've said this time and time again. I'll say it one more time. I believe that, yes, it's a good week so far, up 8%, which is just over $4 at 52.35. My personal opinion is that I think it's possibly part of a B wave. So in Elliott wave, you have A, B, C waves, all various types of waves. So I believe that, yes, it could be a bit more upside. And then I wouldn't be surprised to see it go down to a lower low, flushing out the weaker hands again. And then that's where you'd look to back up the truck. Now, I've also said to fence sit, so to speak. I want to be obvious. So I want to be honest here and say that this could also be the wave where it just goes onwards and upwards, and it could be off to the races. I honestly don't know. And when I look at other analysts out there that look at gold, that look at silver, they say the same thing. We can compile as much data as we want. We can look at as many charts as we want. I've seen different people say different things, that this could be part of a B and C wave, and then it's up and off to the races. Other people saying, no, this is it. This could be off to the races. I don't know, is the honest answer, and I will continue to say that as well. But it's certainly been a very good week, to say the least, in silver. I should point out that the Contrarian Capitalist is close to agreeing a deal with Goldcorp, so we'll be able to offer Goldcorp products to Contrarian Capitalist. That might entail the odd special offer as well. So again, I'm hoping to get Dave Russell onto the podcast as well, hopefully in December. If not, it will be at the start of 2026. So do watch out for that as well. So full disclaimer, that if you see some more Goldcorp promotions taking place and the CEO of Goldcorp, then that would be why. We're looking to finalize a partnership behind the scenes, which will involve, again, bullion products, storage as well. Although they're from the Republic of Ireland originally, they're massively within the UK and, of course, the United States of America and Canada as well. So that's where we are with silver. Just have a quick look on the rest of the metals as we're here. So gold is up on the week as well, up 3.4%, up $138. It's trading at $4,138 at the time of doing this video. Platinum just sitting under $1,600. Again, up $55 on the week, up 3.5% on the week thus far. Palladium as well. Palladium started to move again, up 7.2% on the week, trading at $1,450 US dollars, 1,450. Also up $99.50 at the time of recording. I was going to bring up that copper chart if I can. Give me a second. I didn't have it pre-prepared, which was a bit silly of me. So copper is, as my internet decides to not want to work, bear with me. We will go through it. That being said, I should point out, as I've got the WTI in front of me, West Texas Intermediate showing a slight hammer candle so far this week, down 0.82%, down half a dollar, trading at 59.34. If we have a look at Brent, again, very similar in Brent, it could be a hammer candle forming here. It's down by 9 cents, down by 0.14%, trading at 63.36 over in the Brent cash market. And then look at copper. Again, we look at copper per pound US dollar. That's up on the week as well, 3.68% up 18 cents, trading at $5.19. That $5 range, or that $5 mark in copper per pound, is really critical. So watch out for that moving forwards. Nothing really else to add in terms of the metals. I mentioned earlier on, this could be a B wave that could then lead to a C wave, and then it's off to the races. We could be off to the races now. Other people are I'm not going to say clueless, but they're fence sitting as well. I'm going to join the fence sitting party. I honestly don't know, but my not financial advice, not financial recommendation. My point is the same. That if you're looking to buy bullion and you're looking to buy physical and your dollar cost averaging in, then fine. You do what you need to do. Of course, if you're trying to trade this and you're trying to trade the paper markets and you're trying to do X, Y, and Z, you're going to be a lot more price sensitive. I'd be acting with a hell of a lot more caution if that was me. Again, trying to trade these metals. While we're on the subject of markets, let's just check in very briefly with the US indices. So S&P 500 sitting at 68.55. That's up on the week by 126 points. NASDAQ back over 25,000. It is at 25,500, pretty much on the nose. Again, up 446 points on the week. Dow Jones, biggest mover in the US terms this week, up 2.96%, up 1,390 points, trading at 48,380 at the time of recording. VIX is down on the week at around 1750. So basically means that everything's normal as far as that's concerned. And then the dollar index actually finished down last week after breaching that 100 mark. It is up 0.06 on the week. So it's currently at 99.61. So it's really a case of watch this space. I should point out, by the way, I appreciate that loads of different people are going to be watching this. So if you're yet to become a free subscriber to the Contrarian Capitalist, then please do so. And of course, if you're a free subscriber and you would allow me to serve you at a higher level with the commodity wraps and market wraps and mid-month macro, the end-of-month macro videos that we do, and early access to all of the expert interview podcasts as well, please allow me to serve you at a higher level by becoming a paid subscriber. It's $11 a month. If you take the annual plan, then it works out at about $9.20 a month. You can also become a lifetime subscriber. So it's called a founding member, and you pay a one-off membership price basically, and that's it. It doesn't renew. It's yours for life. A lot more people are doing that as well. I noticed a lot more CFAs are doing that as well. And of course, if you run in a business, you could obviously claim a subscription as a business write-off. So I would imagine, speak to your accountant, of course, but I imagine it would be classed as a tax deductible expense as well. But come and join the growing community here at the Contrarian Capitalist. Let's have a look at some other bits and bobs around the news in general, and a lot going on. We'll start with USA, and I'm not going to comment too much on this story because it only came out very recently, and it's apparently to do with Democrats releasing emails to do with Trump and Epstein, and Trump spending apparently, allegedly, I will say, hours with one of the victims, etc. I'm not going to go into that. I would imagine that this is maybe an idea to just ruffle the feathers of President Trump, possibly to look to continue the government lockdown as well. I don't really know what the motives are here, but again, that story broke this morning, so I just wanted to pass that on to yourselves as well. Of course, just mentioning the government shutdown in the US, it continues to rumble on. I mentioned last week in the poly market that we looked at that I thought that the shutdown would be done before Thanksgiving, but would go on beyond the 16th of November. So again, we will see. Everyone's saying different things, what's going on here, etc., etc. Again, I'll put a link to the latest on there, but we're on, at the time of doing this, day 42 of the shutdown. It's the longest one in US history as far as I'm aware, and yes, there's a crunch meeting and vote today. So again, I'll put a link into the post that comes with this video as well. Continuing the theme of President Trump and the BBC. Now, there were some issues over the weekend with the BBC with regards to them slicing up footage to make it look like President Trump had incited the J6 riots. I forget the name, Tim Davie, I think it was the CEO of the BBC, or whoever it was. They resigned, citing a judgment of error. And what I've done is, again, I've put a link into an article there, but I've also put a link into Martin A. Armstrong's post on X. that gives you what the original speech was and how the BBC manipulated it, basically. So I highly recommend you go and look at that. It's about a 20-second clip, so I've tagged that. I highly recommend you go and look at that for yourselves. Reason being that it's not a good look at all. I said, and I hope that Trump actually goes ahead and sues the BBC completely. It's not good. I think it's pure manipulation, pure propaganda as well. And more people are waking up to the fact that mainstream media outlets are dying, basically, and that they're falling on their ass. And that when you have things like this happening, again, it's that trust in the system. Now, that's not just mainstream media. We maybe not contrarian capitalists. I appreciate we are a different breed, but most people out there are going to have trust in the financial system. They're going to have trust in the psychology of fiat currency. Not so much for contrarian capitalists, I get it, but a lot of this relies on that trust and that faith. And it's the same thing with people that believe the mainstream media, the BBC. Now, I always cite the BBC because I like to see what crap they're talking, and then I do the opposite. That's my personal opinion. That's why I keep doing articles from the BBC, because I just like to see what sewage they're spilling out of their traps. All that being said, a lot of people are still going to believe what they read. Oh, the BBC said this, they're reputable, etc., etc. They will probably look at all this, President Trump things and call it disinformation. It's just part of this massive divide and conquer that we're sat through at the moment. So I do hope that President Trump does go out and sue the BBC for every penny. Apparently, it's anything in the millions and billions of dollars or pounds, whatever currency you want to look at. I hope that happens, personally. Sticking with our good old friends at the BBC, and they're saying that apparently Sir Keir Starmer is fighting any attempt to replace him. Again, it's been a complete shit show. I'm not sure if that's YouTube or Substack friendly, but I've said it now. It's been a shit show for the last 14 months. It's only going to get worse, to be fair. It's not going to get any better. And yeah, really, really not good at all. What I should point out is I was interviewed actually by Crypto Rich on Friday, the 7th of November. So we had a look at things like the UK Bill of Rights and what was going on in the UK. And Rich was informing me about legal ways to not pay your taxes if you're in the UK. I'm going to link to that in the post as well. I highly recommend you go and check that out. That video is free for everyone. It's also on YouTube as well. By the way, if you're not following the Contrarian Capitalist on YouTube, we're nearly at 1,500 subscribers. Again, all the podcasts, all the videos do get put onto YouTube eventually as well. So go and give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube as well. Point being that a lot of stuff's going on in the UK, not even touching on energy policy and the hypocrisy of everyone having to fly to Brazil to talk about COP30 and this is how we're going to save the world. And don't worry about all the emissions on your private jets and the fact that most of that's been taxpayer funded, by the way, or they've had to cut down X amount of trees to create a road to get you from an airport to, the place in Brazil where you're talking about. None of that hypocrisy. Don't need to worry about that. Of course, we're all doing it in order to save the environment and save the planet. I'd highly recommend you go check out the podcast with Wall Street Journal. We looked at some of this hypocrisy as well. And ultimately, if you start at point A, which is where we are, and you say to people, look, here's point B is a greener planet. Who wants a greener planet? I think everyone watching this video will say, Rob, I'm in for it. I'm up for it. Give me a greener planet. Fantastic. But how you get there, the path there, two different ways. You can either take one step back in terms of environmentally and then take two steps forward, i.e. look at China. Yes, I know they're building loads of coal plants, but also if you look at the amount of nuclear production that they've increased as well, they've done that because they've got the energy abundance to do so. I understand the politics work different over there, but they're basically taking a step back environmentally and two steps forward. Fine. And then you've got the other way, which is, no, that's it. We need to destroy everything. We need to tear down our nuclear plants. We need to, build all these solar panels, wind turbines, etc. By the way, that's going to be subsidized by the government, which ends up looking badly on your energy bill, especially in the UK, because that's all calculated as part of the standing charge, which you receive in the UK. I don't know how it works in other countries, Oh, and of course, then the ironic environmental damage of the first place of producing the wind turbines and producing the solar. Ta-da! The hypocrisy is incredibly rife. I won't go off on one too much. I'll start getting quite angry about that. But yeah, the hypocrisy is not good. We need energy abundance. I don't care what country you're from. That's what you need. You need energy abundance. Very important that we have that. Point being that if you ask people, do you want a greener world? I think most people would say yes, that'd be great. Well, in that case, let's take a step back. Okay, let's get more fossil fuels on the go, because with that energy abundance, we can make the energy cheaper for the masses. That'll be superb. And then with any energy excess, we can sell that energy, do trade deals. We could do that, get some more cash into our country, whatever country you're in. And then, oh, yes, look at that. We've now got this massive surplus. Can we have a sovereign wealth fund like Norway, for example, or can we use those excess funds to replenish the grid? Can we build more nuclear? Superb. Now, this don't happen overnight. It will take years and years and years. But without a clear strategy, it's very unlikely to happen. And again, if you're in the UK or you're in Western Europe, then yeah, the proverbial's hitting the fan. It's hit the fan already. It's going to continue to hit the fan in terms of energy. So it's really, really not good, no matter what way you look at it. But do go and check out that podcast with Brewster of the Wall Street Journal. It's a really, really good recording, and I think everyone will learn a lot from that. Just having a quick look around, and nothing else news-wise that's of interest. The same stuff as usual, basically. Markets ticking onwards and upwards. I believe that's going to be the case moving forwards. I'm looking forward, hopefully, to get Dr. Vanis Al-Hadji back on the podcast, either in December or January, to go through oil and to go through natural gas as well. There's a lot of different content and news out there. I'd highly recommend you go and check out the previous podcast with Doomberg as well, because he highlighted what's going on in oil and natural gas from a US perspective and what's likely to happen moving forwards. There's a lot going on as well. There's plenty of podcasts lined up for December. I should point out, as I said, the one with Wall Street Journal is out to paid subscribers. It will be out to free subscribers later on this week. At some point, I hope next week, the CEO of Outsmart Mining, Mark Levy, again, that podcast will drop on the Contrarian Capitalist channel at some point. So that's the first ever mining show, or the first ever mining company to appear on the show. And then after that, apart from the commodity wraps and the midweek macro videos, remember there's not one on the 26th of November. I'll be in transit. The next podcast batch is scheduled for the 1st of December. So the podcast will be very limited in the next couple of weeks. And just to circle back to what I said at the start, the reason for that is I'll be heading down to Paraguay later on today. So I'll be in transit, then I'll be dealing with various immigration, migration, etc., 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 doing some networking and really seeing what's happening on the ground there. I just want to say, as always, please do subscribe to Contrarian Capitalist if you haven't done so. Please allow me to serve you at a higher level by becoming a paid subscriber or founding member. And again, if you speak to your accountant, I imagine there'll be tax deductible expenses for your business if you're listening to this as a business as well. And again, please send me a DM if you are interested in a one-on-one private strategy session. They last between 2 or 3 hours. They're done on Zoom. Unless you happen to be in Mexico City, then we can do it in person. I don't have a booking system or platform built up for that yet. So again, just send me a DM, or again, you can just email me as well. And I'll look to start getting those booked in from December as well. Have an absolutely fantastic day. We will be back again with Wall Street Journal later on this week. The commodity wrap will be with you as well. Various commodity deep dives, various ratios we're going to look into as well. And I'll next check in with a video on Wednesday, the 19th of November. Take care. Have a fantastic day. Please do share and subscribe to the Contrarian Capitalist. Take care.